SGA once again. Little hesitation. The left hand. What a move by SGA.
Another block.
Chet Holmgren, the long arm of the law.
Back in the game. These are key minutes without SGA. And another drive. J. Dom cocks it back and throws it down.
This is Lu Dort. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up? Welcome to the Uncontested podcast, a podcast where we cover the NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder basketball team. Woo!
Let's go.
NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder. We're brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network, our friends over at Prairie Artisan Ales. I hope a bunch of people were just hammering some prairies last night, JD.
I hope so too.
I'm your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. I've got my guy, J.D. Silva, here.
Fellas, could not be more excited to be here. These have been like the best 2 days of my adult life, if I'm being honest.
We are waiting for the other fellas to join. Justin is going to join us at some point remote from an undisclosed location in Colorado, probably on some AirPods and a phone. Taylor is going to join from his home, and Nick is on the way to Taylor's home, but sent us a text that said, quote, mega wreck on the way. And then I called Nick and he didn't answer. So I'm wondering if Nick is in the mega wreck. We will see. But you know what? You know who's not in a mega wreck?
Me.
The Oklahoma City Thunder.
That too.
And JD Silva. Because, folks, 103-91, the Oklahoma City Thunder win Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Took them 7 games. 7 games.
Nothing easy.
But they close it out in Game 7 against the Indiana Pacers to be crowned the NBA World Champions, hoisting the Larry O'Brien Trophy on the hardwood of Paycom Center. What a moment, what a night, what a season, what a team, what a franchise, what a city. I don't even know where to begin, JD. Let's start here. Before we dive in, I don't mean this to be a shameless plug, but I think we got some really cool stuff we need to talk about. And I know you're starting to pull it up here right now to share it on screen.
Well, which thing am I showing?
Our guy, Justin,
Yes.
has cooked up some of what I'm biased. I think is the coolest finals merch you are going to find anywhere. I would like to share that finals merch with you here on the live stream. And we will drop the link to the finals merch in the live stream chat for you guys. We'll also post it in the YouTube and the podcast description. So make sure to go check that out as well. But we would love for you guys to snag some of this incredible merch. So JD, let's start with that first shirt on the far left there. We have this World Champion Thunder shirt that's got the Larry O.B. Justin hid an OKC in the Larry O'Brien Trophy, which is just freaking sick. In the middle of the screen, you see the Champions Oklahoma City ring shirt. It's a nod. It's a throwback to the 90s Bulls. It's pretty incredible. And then those are order it on demand. You get it. As soon as you order it, it gets printed and shipped to you. Now, one thing that's pretty cool, JD. One thing that's pretty cool is the World Champions design, but on a bomber jacket.
Let's check it out.
If you just want to roll up to wherever you're going looking like a badass, you need this bomber jacket. It's got that champion logo on the front. The back has the full graphic. Here's the thing about the jacket. They can't print them on demand, so we have a 2-week pre-order. You have 2 weeks to snag a jacket, and then they're gone. forever. You're actually down to 13 days because they went live last night. We're about 24 hours into the pre-order process for the bomber jacket. Go get a bomber jacket. They look sick. Justin was in his bag creating this stuff. We've been sitting on these designs, what, JD, since the Western Conference Finals?
Since God knows how long, and we just have never. It's like we don't know if we're going to be able to even use them. So
we can use them,
very
buddy.
cool. We can use them.
All right. Go snag some merch. We would love it if you snag some merch. We think it looks awesome. Shout out to Justin for putting all of that together for us. Here's the thing. We don't have an outline. We're just riffing because the Thunder are NBA champions. JD, give me something.
I want to start with what I'm feeling the most today, if that is cool with you.
Go ahead.
I am feeling validation like I have never felt before. I'm feeling zen like I have never felt before. We followed this team for 14 years. We spent so many hours watching this team, hoping for one moment to happen. And sports are enjoyable in pursuit of that moment, but there is nothing like being undeniable. We've always had to say, we think this team is great and can win a title. We think X, Y, and Z. We think SGA is the best player in the NBA and can win a title. We think. We've always had to kind of hedge because we have been deniable to some extent because it hasn't happened yet. That is no more. We think is now we know. We know this team is full of champions. We know Sam Presti is one of the best GMs in the NBA, if not the best GM in the NBA, and has been that for his entire tenure here. We know SGA is an all-time great finals MVP, scoring champion. The list goes on. We no longer
won a franchise their first championship ever.
We no longer can be denied, and that is an unbelievable feeling.
It's insane, dude. Like, part of it still hasn't set in for me that it's real. There have been moments where it's just been like, oh my gosh, you know. JD, I'm gonna be honest with you. There were parts of the game last night where I was sitting there, and it felt like I was sitting in Paycom in February. You know, like it kind of felt I was like, I've done this so many times. I've watched this so many times.
Yeah.
And then there were moments where, like, I'm just ready to start crying. There's moments where I'm feeling very emotional. I think it really, really started to set in towards the end of the game when you started seeing the guys believe. There were a few plays where you could just see Dub's reaction, Chet's reaction. I think really for me, there were multiple times where I was like, I think they're going to win. But it was when I believe Nembhard cut it to 10. And then we inbound. J-Dub gets a long hit-ahead pass to Chet with about 2 minutes left, who dunks it and just starts screaming at the crowd. Alex goes over and starts hyping the crowd up. And it was like at that moment with 2 minutes left that, like, they knew that they had won the title. And I was like, that's when it really started to set in for me. And then as that final buzzer sounds, I'm up in the 300 section, and I can see how emotional J-Dub is, pulling the shirt up, wiping his eyes. Incredible, dude. Incredible. And then to see the stage go up, to see Clay Bennett hold up the Larry O'Brien trophy, hand it to the team, and then literally just disappear.
Immediately stepped out of the spotlight. This dude, the whole you dream about this moment. You dream about it. And it was super emotional. It did not feel real or possible until the final buzzer sounded. It's like, what if the Thunder were up 18 with a couple minutes left? And it's like, what if the Pacers come back somehow?
Yep, I was like,
you just never know.
I was literally sitting there, like, in my own head, JD, saying, it's just 6 threes. If they just hit 6 straight threes, they could win the game.
It's like, can this moment be ripped from me still? Because
Yes.
as Thunder fans, as Pacers fans saw last night, moments can be ripped from you through injury and tragedy. And the Thunder have so often been on the other side of that. And young fans, much younger than me, may not have felt that because I was 15, 16, 17 years old when this was happening, but it was, that first title run happens. They go to the finals, they lose to the Heat in 5, and then it's injury, injury, injury. Kevin Durant leaves, and it gets snatched from you. And the Thunder, that's why I wouldn't have any caveats or regrets anyway for winning a title, but the Thunder fans have been on the other side of where Pacers fans were last night so many times, and
Absolutely.
never take this for granted. I will never take this for granted. I'll never forget it either.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, JD, I have confetti from the game last night. Like,
that's amazing. I should have done that.
When I die, this is going in my ashes.
Yeah.
Like, it's just incredible.
When I die, I'm gonna stuff a cigarette with that shit and smoke it.
Your corpse is gonna smoke it?
Yeah, put it,
while you're laying in the casket and your vampire lay, you got one last cig sticking out.
Remember in 2025?
Insane, dude. Like,
what was the Mackenzie in our chat said this is forever? Was it Chet that said broken bones and injuries are temporary, but this is forever? How do you come up with that on the spot, first of all? But second of all, amazing. Amazing.
Chet's had a few incredible quotes. J-Dub has had some incredible quotes. Look at a professional photographer, Jacob D. Silva.
Yeah.
With this picture. This is incredible, JD.
Took an insane photo last night. It's kind of made the rounds on social media. Art, but make it sports. Credited me with this. It's just like perfectly captures the feeling inside the arena. How can you be in that environment and not think anything else other than like, this is unbelievable?
Well, and JD, you and I talked on the phone on the way downtown to go to Paycom last night. And I told you, I said, I feel bad, but I said, I don't know if a win tonight is going to have the euphoria that I wanted to have. I think it's going to have relief. Yeah. And I wanted the euphoric feeling. And the relief started to set in, and then the euphoria took over. I mean, dude, I was just sitting I never sat last night.
I sat like during a couple timeouts and otherwise.
And I just kept screaming over and over. They did it. They did it. Incredible. I mean, we can get into the game, JD. We can get into the bigger picture stuff.
I yelled this outside when we met up. I don't remember the game. I was just obviously the Halliburton thing completely took me out of it in the first quarter. That was truly sad. But then
I feel horrible for Hallie.
I did too.
Like
I did too.
To have that moment ripped from you.
Sucks.
In hindsight, do you say he should not have played with that calf strain? Like, everyone's going to say that in hindsight. The dude has worked his entire life to play a Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and let's be honest, he was cooking.
Yeah,
he was cooking early,
and everyone would have wanted him to play the entire game. But
absolutely,
you play with the calf strain, and you risk that happening, unfortunately. And I hate the way it went, but the outcome is the outcome, and anyone doubting this championship at all cannot say shit to us.
Yep,
ever.
Yep.
I've been talking a lot of shit on Twitter today, and it feels fantastic.
Yeah, so many people just you can't take the title away. There's a trophy, and it resides in Oklahoma City.
It is. No matter what, you ask someone who won the championship in 2025, it was the Oklahoma City Thunder.
There is a right and a wrong answer. There's no caveat. There's no asterisk. There's no, well, technically,
no.
Who is the 2025 NBA World Champions? It's the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah. Small shout out, by the way, to Kristen Chenoweth. I I don't really know who she is. Like, I know she's from Oklahoma. I know she's an actress and a singer, but I don't think I've like watched anything she's been in before. Brought the damn house down with the national anthem.
Yep, she was
Brought the
cooking.
house down. She was cooking. Halftime show was cooking a little less.
Halftime show was insane.
It was insane.
Yeah, the Thunder thought this was ending in 6. That's why they brought in the GOAT for Game 5.
Yep. Red Panda.
They shot their shot a little too early. They busted a little too fast, JD.
Yep. Happens to the best of us.
Happens to the best of us.
What else
Oh
should
my
we?
goodness.
Should we?
Let's talk about the game a little bit. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's talk
Yeah,
about the game. There's so many directions you could go. We talked about Hallie for a second there, but offensive efficiency was horrendous. Here's where I want to start. And I want to give a big shout out to Nick Crane, who might be dead in a car crash right now.
He texted a few minutes ago. He's fine.
Don't know. Are we sure? He texted Ferk. F-U-R-K. Ferk.
Yep.
Shout out to Nick Crane. He and Taylor did their Game 7 preview pod. And Nick was saying that he wanted Chet. If anyone was going to have a moment, if anyone was going to have a game, he wanted it to be Chet. Lots of guys for the Thunder, I thought, were incredible. Some of them incredible scoring. Shai, incredible passing the ball. Some of them incredible at defense, hustle plays, all these different things. I didn't know only 2 guys scored on the bench, and they both scored 10 points. That's kind of dope.
Yeah.
But Chet Holmgren, JD, Chet Holmgren, 18 on 6 of 8 from the field. 6 of 8 for 18 points, 8 rebounds, 1 steal, 5 blocks, and 0 turnovers. I thought Chet all game, all series, all playoffs was phenomenal defensively. But the shield he put around the paint in that fourth quarter, the Pacers were not getting anything inside.
No.
Chet was blocking everything. He was blocking a shot up in the air and then jumping a second time to rebound it. He was moving his feet. He was the best defender on the White Devil himself, TJ McConnell.
Yeah, he was.
It was pretty funny. There's this, I don't know. I think she knows about the pod. I don't know if she listens. There's this older lady who sits in front of me at my season tickets. And very sweet lady. Has the iPhone messaging texts font size very large, so you can see. And I could see that somebody had texted her. She was on a text message and said, like, we have to stop letting TJ McConnell score. And she was typing back, some guy behind me keeps calling him a white devil. That was me.
You weren't wrong. You were not wrong.
I think you could argue that Chet was the best defender on TJ freaking McConnell. Like, his ability to move his feet, to switch his hips, to slide, to protect the rim. I thought Chet was phenomenal, JD. And I think a lot of it's going to go unsung because it was on the defensive end. I thought Chet was incredible. And that's what he did defensively. I still believe in the early season offensive Chet, and I believe he can get back there.
100%. I think it says so much about the character of this team and their 2 young stars in Chet and J-Dub that, in my opinion, Chet's best game in the finals was best game of the playoffs was that Game 7. J-Dub's best game in the playoffs was obviously his 40-point. Was it Game 5?
Game 5.
Those 2 guys stepped up when the lights were at their brightest. And that is everything because the runway is still so long for those guys. Chet especially.
Absolutely.
People forgot.
Absolutely.
People either forgot or didn't care that Chet missed 2/3 of the season, and he looked like a different player before he got hurt. The concerns about the handle were not really there. The conditioning looked good. He looked more muscular. Just looked better than last year. Full stop. And you're just on your ass for 2/3 of the season.
Yep.
Losing all that progress, which he talked about.
Cason Wallace has played more minutes and, well, I don't know about minutes, played more games than Chet Holmgren.
Yeah. And he talked about how difficult it was to lose all the work he put in over the summer. He lost. So we essentially got the Chet from the previous year.
Yep.
And he was still amazing. When he still was able. He struggled, yes, throughout the playoffs, on and off, but when it mattered most, he was there.
Absolutely. Another guy we got a shout out from last night. I mean, essentially there were 7 dudes who really just balled out last night. The starting 5, AC and Wallace. But JD, I felt like there was. I'm just so freaking happy for Lu Dort, dude.
Yes.
9.7 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 of 10 from the field, 2 of 9 from 3. I'm so freaking happy. That dude was everywhere. He was trapping TJ McConnell in the coffin corner, forcing him to cough up the ball. He was running up behind dudes, poking the ball out. He was getting huge offensive rebounds. He hit an absolute ballistic piss missile from mid-court.
In the third?
I mean,
yeah.
Oh, my gosh. And especially after the Players Tribune article, like, undrafted to just being the most rabid of dogs in a game 7. Like, shout out Lu Dort, man.
He wanted it bad, and he deserved it. He was here to one of the few guys on the team that was here from the beginning. I mean, it's he and SGA basically that are here from the beginning of this new era, like that Chris Paul team, which feels like so long ago. And it was just 4 or 5 years?
Yeah. 5 years ago. Isn't that crazy?
You have a full teardown, a rebuild, and a title within that short amount of time.
It's incredible, dude.
We have some super chats. If you want,
yeah, let's definitely hit the super chats. You guys, if you want to drop some super chats, we'd love to have those.
I have some non super chat comments I'll highlight also. Right before we started, Connor sent us $10. Said champs. Connor, shout out to you, the stream god, a longtime supporter, been here through the ups and the downs, through the muck.
I'm so happy for Connor too.
Yes.
Connor, we love you. You've been such a big part of the Discord community. You've helped us out with everything. You've moderated stuff. You are arguably top 5 crash out king on the Discord. And
we're proud.
We love you for that. We got a shirt on the way for Connor. We got a championship shirt on the way for Connor.
Speaking of that, we do owe you all a Patreon episode. Obviously, the playoffs have been chaotic for all of us. We've done more shows than usual, so we've been a little off with our Patreon output, but you will see episodes from us very, very soon.
Absolutely.
Next comment from Thunder Chick. Thunder Chick says, JD, on behalf of all of us and any future Silvas, we're glad you didn't blow anything to smithereens the other day. For those lacking context, after Game 6, where we were all together at Prairie watching that game live, I said, I think I tweeted, if I had a shotgun, I'd point it at my balls and blow them to smithereens. Got a lot of likes on that. Turns out if you talk about blowing your balls off, you get a lot of likes and followers. We got $2 from David Skelton. He says, not 1, not 2, not 3. Jacob, here's money.
Skelton. Oh, is that in reference to like the Heatles?
Could be. Skelton. What a journey we've been on together.
Shout out Skelton, man.
Very happy for you, dude. Very happy for you. Got a super chat from King Doss, $10. Hey guys, we did it. Been following you guys for 3 years. Can I get a shout out to my brother Cordell? I turned him on to you guys' podcast this year, and we never miss a pod. Thank you guys. Shout out to King Doss. Shout out to Cordell.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
JD, I was walking outside Paycom after we almost got shot. And yeah. I probably got like, not even 50, like 100 people that were yelling like, Caruso.
Yeah.
And one guy in his car goes, Caruso. And I was like, yo. Then he goes, wait, is that Jacob Niffen? And I was like, yeah, I love the podcast. I forget who it was, but if you're in the chat, reveal yourself. I was about to say expose yourself, and that seems
don't do that.
Problematic. No one
don't
wants
do
to
that.
see the wang.
Another guy I would really, really like to shout out hasn't necessarily left us a comment, but our guy Smoot has been a loyal listener. I got to meet Smoot in person at the watch party, which ended in total tragedy. Got to hug Smoot outside the arena after the win. Very meaningful to me. I would also like to say Smoot bought me this son of a bitch right here. I've named him W, and he will reside at my desk forever. Here's a close-up.
Can we get a slap?
Of course.
For you, Smoot.
For you, Smoot. Well deserved, and thank you again.
Man, we have word that Nick Crane is not dead and will be on the show in roughly 10 minutes.
He's got to wrestle Taylor to get on the podcast, though.
Taylor is literally at home watching the show and not logging in and talking. So
he could join at any moment.
He could have joined at any moment.
Yes. Thunderchick said she messaged you predictions and prophecies. We should probably check that out.
Yes,
well.
we will wait for everybody to show up for us to do those. But do we still talk about the game? Should we move on to like after the game, like and the celebration? Like I don't even know where to go with this, bro. Shai had 29 and 12. Like dude was just had a game with 0 assists and then said, I'm gonna still though now watch this drive. Now watch this dime and just start diming all over the court.
Oh my God.
Live from the mountain man.
The big dog.
The dog. What the dog doing?
What the dog doing?
Oh, that's not what I want. That's what I want.
There we go.
And he's
frozen.
Frozen. He's frozen, folks.
Looks great though. There he goes. Hey,
now he's not frozen.
It's getting there.
That's an incredible.
Is it working?
You're cutting out.
Yeah. Come back to us, Justin. Come back to us.
Yeah, he'll come. It's amazing.
These faces are just better and better and better.
We should maybe while he's doing that, maybe give out some more shout outs really quick.
Whoa. Here he is.
Huh? Is it
We got
working?
you, brother.
Yes.
We got you, brother.
Oh my gosh. I'm literally like standing on top of a hill in the middle of a parking lot to try to find somewhere with signal.
What parking lot?
I can't reveal that.
Oh, okay.
I'll be there in a moment, Justin, if you just tell me.
Boys, we won a chip.
Justin, we already pumped your merch.
Dude. The merch.
Justin, tell us, like, because the whole squad was in the arena last night. Except
rub it
for
in.
you.
Rub it in.
Except
Yep.
for you. Tell us your experience just watching the game, feelings watching the game. We're just vibing over here, bro.
Yeah. A lot of stress. I was distracted most of the day. So that helped. But then once we settled in and got the game on the TV, it was like, oh, okay, this is hitting. This is hitting now. And then you guys started sending pictures, and I got incredibly jealous. The scene looked incredible. The vibes during the game were pretty good. I mean, I think we all knew, like, after the Halliburton injury happened, devastating, gut-wrenching, but it kind of felt like okay, the Thunder have to win this game moment. I felt more relaxed after that point. I felt like I said it in the Discord, I felt like a big third quarter avalanche was coming, and that's exactly what happened. This team did what they have done all season to so many teams, and now they're NBA champions. The vibe late, I have two specific moments I want to highlight. One was Jacob, my boy, FaceTiming me from the arena. I'll never forget that moment. That was incredibly special. Getting to see it at like a good 30 seconds ahead of what I was watching on TV.
Oh,
but
really?
getting to see, like, yeah, you were so far ahead. Getting to see the atmosphere and like kind of feeling like I was in it for a minute. That was really cool. And then the second the game was over, my son ripped off his shirt and waved it around his head like a helicopter. And that is another moment I will also never forget. That was elite.
Heck yes, brother. That
What a moment he will never forget. That's so cool. Dude.
It was super cool. And then my son, my daughter, and my nieces and nephews, they went out on the back porch My brother-in-law had a bunch of poppers, like firecracker things, and they were just throwing them on the patio and blasting Thunderstruck. And that was, it's not quite jumping in the canal, but it feels like a close second.
We heard some poppers outside, and they turned out to be gunshots.
I got a lot of street
Yikes,
cred
dog.
last night, Justin.
Yeah.
Did you?
We need to pause the podcast for a moment, JD.
This is a huge moment.
It's a pivotal moment.
Dave
Dave, let's go!
with the big donation. Dave says, champions finally, 13 years being a Thunder fan. So happy I found you guys since last year. Enjoying the journey together was a blast. Thank you for going along with my meme. It's so fun. So let's do it next season.
Yeah, Dave.
I
Every
love that.
game next season, Dave. All 82, brother.
Dave's gonna single-handedly fund our finals tickets next year.
Yeah,
Dave.
That's incredible.
Dave,
Shout out, Dave.
We've been promising you since the second round, Dave, that if you led us to a title, we'd get you a T-shirt.
Yes.
Dave, get in the Twitter DMs, Dave.
Yeah.
Coordinate.
We got you taken care of.
Twitter
We're gonna-
DMs, Instagram DMs, hit us up.
Yep, we will get you a T-shirt, one of Justin's designs. Justin, what was it like getting to design Thunder championship gear and then sitting on it and probably wanting to poop your pants as they just get their balls blasted with a shotgun in Game 6?
Super
And-
fun, obviously. But, as I was doing it, I told you guys this. As I was doing it, I was reminded of the file on my computer that was named OKC 2016 that featured some old designs that never saw the light of day. I put a lot more effort into these designs than those ones, so I would have been a lot more devastated if these didn't see the light of day. But, man, can't ask for better than that. Super glad they got to see the light of day. Two fun stories about those. One, the OKC and the trophy thing is just something that popped in my head one day, and I started doodling it on a note card during a meeting at work and did 4 or 5 little sketches. I don't know. Did I send you guys that picture or not? I need to share it. It's fun to see where it started, and then started working with it and got it to work out and come together. Super, super psyched about that design. And then the ring one is something that's been in my head for forever. The Western Conference champ shirts, which you're modeling, Jacob. I referenced a lot of 90s designs for that, 90s NBA shirts. And there's no better 90s NBA shirt than the 97 Bulls NBA champ shirt with the ring. So I referenced that one. And I started that design sitting at the airport Chili's with Nick on the way to Indy, which is kind of fun as well. So that was a moment, again, that always will probably stick in my mind.
Wasn't
Justin,
Nick hammering beers and Chili's wings on the way?
We
to
both were,
Indianapolis?
man.
Chili's is a place of enlightenment.
That's right. I felt God in that Chili's. that night.
Justin, I don't know if you can see our comments or not, but
Yes, I can.
Ben Alpers says, Rick Carlisle is retroactively angry you designed the championship merch before Game 7, Justin.
That's fabulous. Oh, my gosh.
Dude.
Did you guys talk about the buses yet?
No.
Bro.
How?
Okay. So
Why is Rick so angry? Brother, there are 10,000 kids in Cameroon right now wearing Pacers championship gear.
And
you
good for
should
them.
know how this works. You've been here before.
Yep. And good for those kids.
It's wild.
It's
I
sad.
thought to myself, one, wild that Rick's upset. 2, wild that whoever leaked that video gave them some bulletin board material right before the game started. And then 3, I retweeted it from the pod because I found a tweet of someone showing the porta potties they had set up along Indiana's parade route. And that got some traction after we posted it of hey, go show this to Mark Daigneault. Take offense to this, but those porta potties are empty today.
Yeah, they're not full.
Oh, they're
of
pretty full because the Pacers took a big old dump. Big old dump.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Uh,
Big donation.
Wild,
from
guys.
Big donation from Ben Crouch.
Let's
Says,
go.
So pissed. I have one huge briefing I have per year to my senior leadership tomorrow and live in Alabama now. Want to be at the parade and be jumping in the Riverwalk with all my fellow degenerates. Best sports memory of my life.
Shout out Ben.
Awesome.
Shout
Ben
out.
and I went to high school together, so thank you.
No way.
Thank you for riding along, Ben.
That's dope.
Man. I don't even know. Like, I was about to say something. I totally lost it. So, Ben said best sports memory in my life.
Yeah.
Hands down for me. Best sports memory in my life. It hands down the best atmosphere of a game I've ever been to in my life. Game 5 is the second best. And not to get down the college football rabbit hole, but 2008 OU Texas Tech is number 3. And I thought nothing would ever top 2008 jump around at OU. And it did. It absolutely did. Oh my gosh, we got 2 absolute and complete jackasses joining this podcast right now.
What are they? Is this a Step Brothers? Like, hello, Miss Lady.
What the
It's
hell?
a sleepover, just like back in the old days.
Oh, what are you boys about to do?
Where's Nick?
Where's Nick?
Where is he?
Turn
We
up
want
volume.
Nick.
There
We
it
want
is.
Nick.
Yes, sir.
He's refusing to sit down. He's still fired up.
This reminds me of those weird teenage streamers that just have like a camera in their room and they're just like messing around all night in this big random room and just talking.
That's us.
Taylor's like Tyler Hero in that video recently of him saying he doesn't believe history before the 50s.
And Nick in the background looks like he's about to play an Xbox Connect.
We're about to go live on our Twitch after this.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys, the Thunder won a championship.
Let's go.
Oh,
We've
Dude.
been listening to you guys as I waited. I kept thinking like Nick's close. I don't want to jump on and then have to like jump off and like go and get him and like that whole thing. And but we're here. We're here. I think you guys have done a great job.
Man.
Nick, people in the chat are asking, will you be at the parade?
Can you hear me this far from the mic?
Yeah, you're echoey, but you're good.
You need to sit in Taylor's lap. Come on.
Yeah.
Commit.
Here for him.
Yes, I will be at the stadium at 7:30 a.m. and ready to rock.
Smoot is
Awesome.
trying to meet you. He's met everybody. He's got to meet
That's
the last
true.
member
Everybody
of
except Nick.
Gotta
He
meet
gets to do it.
Smoot.
That's
You
cool.
got to meet Smoot.
I think I saw Smoot last night and didn't know it till after I texted you guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rocking the
yeah.
uncontested hat.
I said,
Yeah.
"There's a guy in an uncontested hat," and you were like, "Smoot was wearing an uncontested."
Yeah.
That was Smoot.
Hey, so Nick covered the game. Nick got to be part of pregame media. Nick, you were at postgame media as well, yeah?
Yep.
So I want to get a lot of opinions on that. But first, before we get there, just real quick, Justin, we all love you dearly. This segment's not as much for you. I want to hear everybody's like the crazy thing post game outside, gunshots not included. That's gonna stick out to you forever. I know Nick got out of the arena late. Mine was the complete and total traffic jam with people standing on top of cars and on hoods of moving vehicles, cheering and screaming. And then the one homeboy, somebody knows who this is, please let me know. The one homeboy who pulled up in the intersection, threw it in park, got out, music blaring, and started crip walking across the intersection at right outside of Devon Tower. That was
Self-plug there for Jacob.
That was incredible. JD, what about you? You can't choose the gunshots.
I won't choose the gunshots. Two things. One of them was really small. FKD chants as I was leaving. That was pretty funny. And then as I was driving home, my entire drive, and I do not live in the city. I live like 15 minutes outside the city. My entire drive, even near my house, honking at every intersection. People windows down at every intersection. People screaming "Thunder up!" Let's go Thunder at every intersection. It was so cool. So cool.
JD, I think the one you were referring to at the start there, the woman who just screamed out of nowhere, "FKD, we got a title."
Yep.
Incredible.
Yes.
Taylor, what's yours?
So 2 that stand out to me after the game was being in front of the Colcord out there on that patio, and the whole entire street of Sheridan, which I'm very familiar with because it's right outside my work, was a parade. Like literally car to car to car, Thunder flags flying out the windows, people like standing on like through their sunroofs, music blaring, and like at that intersection right there in front of Mahogany's, people are like climbing up on like the what do you call them, the generators or whatever. Like it was just an insane scene. Everybody was going wild. Everybody was enjoying it. And it kind of felt like after everything down in Scissortail, that's kind of where everybody moved to, which is really cool. Then the second thing, shout out to Hank GPT. Nick and I got to meet up with Hank at the Tiki Lounge, which was crazy. Like he gets us in because he knows the owner. Shout out Matt. And we're in there, and like here comes Von Alexander coming through with a champagne bottle. And then we're hanging out, and like here comes Bon Timpson McMahon from ESPN. Like getting to chat up with them afterwards, talk to them about the Thunder and just like about the league and stuff was really cool. But just that whole environment was insane.
Give us a moment, and Taylor recaps the entire evening. I arrived at Paycom at 5 p.m.
I like
please
that
read
Nick.
the super chat. We have 2 super chats that have to be read.
And then Nick gets to go. But yes, they have to be read.
First
Nick
one
looks
from
like Taylor's parole officer. I
It
just
does.
needed to say that.
Taylor. Better watch your ass.
It's been my bodyguard for a long time.
First super chat from Dave. My goats, Nick and Taylor. How's it going? Gunshots fired in Taiwan too. I got arrested and just got out of custody donating. Shout out to Dave. Second
Dave still
chat.
has bail money after.
Second chat from Cream Cheese in the chat from George Goodwin. Us winning the chip is so amazing. My ex-wife was so hyped she gave me a booty call 5 minutes after the game ended.
Did she
Justin, can we get the line? Can we get the line,
Alligator.
Justin? Give us the line, Justin.
Which line? Cream cheese or the alligator?
The alligator, the ex-wife line.
Man, I'm in public. I once mailed a baby alligator to my ex-wife.
Thank you.
All right, Nick. Best
public.
your moment after the game, just the craziest thing you saw last night.
I was confined within the walls of Paycom for several hours after the game, so I didn't get to see too much that was crazy. Maybe like the coolest, and it wasn't like anything that nobody else saw, but the Chet Bennett hug as the time expired just felt like legendary. Like probably something that 29 other fan bases would not recognize or care about, but that was just like special. And then Jay Will picking up Nick Gallo just felt like the icing on the cake, and the story had been told. You know, this first chapter of championship number 1 had been closed officially once he picked up Nick Gallo.
I mean, Clay
I love
Bennett,
that.
what an owner. Doesn't even really take time to talk. He hoists the trophy.
The opposite of Taylor.
That's right. Can you imagine if I were an owner, how long I would go on in front of the fans?
Taylor would make Matt
It all
Ishfield
started
like a
when the
genius.
Hornets
Cut his ass off.
when the Hornets came to OKC.
When I
So
was
thought it
filling my
was
daddy's nutsack.
he was playing college basketball at the time, and I thought it was really cool how he just handed off the trophy. He stepped off stage, like it was all about the team for him.
Yeah.
And that's like just the example of how this team is ran, right? Like he trusts Sam Presti to do his job, rightfully so. You never hear about, hey, there's Rumble. Rumble's very confused. Very confused.
What the dog doing?
Yep. He didn't like that very much. He does like Nick.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, though. And then, Sam wanting to put the spotlight on Mark and the guys. Mark wanting to put the spotlight on the team, the superstars of this team. Shai, Dub, Chet, like wanting to talk about the role players. Like it's
But also like Kenny Hustle getting a specific shout out from Mark too. Pretty cool.
Also, shout out to Mark showing some emotion. Maybe I was reading into it a little too much, but it looked like when he was talking at the podium, on the stage, I should say, not a podium. It looked like he was like his lip was quivering a little bit. There was like something, he was holding something back. And that was like the most I've seen from Mark on a stage. Like that
So one moment I noticed that you guys have probably seen if you watch clips, but from my viewing point at home, maybe the only thing I noticed that you didn't. Right after Dub came out down the stretch, Everybody's starting to celebrate. Everybody knows, like, this is the moment. The Thunder are champions. It shows Dub on the bench, and he has his jersey pulled up over his face. And when it drops, his eyes are welled up. And I forget what he says, but you could read his lips, and it's something like, I can't believe it, or OMG, or something along those lines. Like, that moment of emotion I thought was really cool. It's cool to see those guys break their wall a little bit.
Well, dude, and then follow that up with J-Dub post-game interview saying, like,
yeah,
I just tried alcohol for my first, like,
that's wild
kids
too.
are so endearing, dude.
The dude
And did you see the clip of Jay Will? The clip of Jay Will saying, "Where's the tequila?"
Yeah, he tried the Michelob. He was like, "This is gross. Where's the tequila?"
That's crazy.
Insane pivot by him, but the team being so young, they don't know how to open a champagne bottle. Like Caruso's
love
the
that.
only guy that can.
Hey, my man's a
I
vet,
saw Marcus
right?
Marcus Thompson say it was the most tame championship locker room he's ever seen, and I thought to myself, like, isn't that just kind of indicative of this organization? Like, even when you win the whole thing, it's still like they can't shake the 0-0 mentality to an extent. Now, that said, I saw a video of Chet at the club, and he looked like he was having himself a good time.
Dude, Shai
But
on Good Morning America looked like hell.
Yeah, I don't think they had any problem celebrating.
I love it.
And then Shai was with somebody. He did like an NBA, like tweeted it out, but he already had the braids out too. Just we were getting like full throw Shai, which
that's what I'm saying. That man did not sleep. Although I will say, I think I told you guys this after or before Game 6. Like, I kind of thought they were going to Vegas, but they didn't. Vegas. They.
Oh my gosh! He just wanted to say Vegas.
I did. They.
Who needs Vegas when you have Oklahoma City?
That's right. Broadway 10. Shout out Broadway 10. Great spot.
Oh man.
Should we talk about like any big pictures? I gave I rambled on about how validating this all is before you guys joined and like.
And JD, I know where you're going, but maybe before we get there, these three guys who joined a little bit late, that's not a shot, you guys. It's just a fact.
Wow.
Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but Nick, I'm going to say this. Like, on Saturday night, Nick sent us part of his pre-written story if the Thunder were to win the game. And like that shouldn't be, I hope it's okay that I said that, Nick.
Don't tell Rick Carlisle.
Nick wrote it on the side of the bus. But that happens very frequently, Nick. You guys like pre-write a lot of stuff. And I thought, Nick, I thought you absolutely killed it. But just personally what this means, like culturally what this means, that the team we all grew up watching, the team that we've podcasted about for 7.5 years now.
That's wild.
The team that JD podcasted over a 73-point loss for, like,
for his very first uncontested podcast.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nick, solo. Nick, Justin Taylor, just I guess just big picture feelings, thoughts, emotions, just what it means. What do you got?
I think for me, it's you teed me up well. It's a culmination of so much time. I'm sure you guys have seen the clip. I'm sure everyone's seen it by now. I thought J-Dub's answer to Scott Van Pelt about like what he's given this team, and he said time. Man, I thought that was a great answer because it made me do some self-reflection too, right? Like, how much time did we give this team when they were winning 21 games? How much time did we spend talking to each other about a team that was losing on purpose? How much time did we spend talking to each other off the podcast about this team? How much time do we spend thinking about this team when we're not podcasting? How much time do I spend making stupid graphics and t-shirts for this team? How much time do I spend talking to like my friends and family about this team? And I think there's not many relationships in my life that don't have at least like some flavor of Thunder fandom involved in it, right? Like, it's a good conversation starter no matter where you're at, even living in Texas, right? You can talk about it. It comes up everywhere. That didn't used to be the case. And I think seeing people talk about, whenever I used to travel and I said Oklahoma City, the small talk would always go to the bombing. And that's changed now, right? I was hiking in Colorado today and got 3 Thunder ups on the trail. Ran into a couple of people that were from Oklahoma and were Thunder fans. Like, that just didn't used to be a thing that happened. But also in like closer relationships, like the relationship I've got with you 4, not to get mushy, but like that doesn't happen without this. And you guys are some of my best friends at this point. Talk to y'all enough. But also like, you know, with my family, and like it permeates everything. And I think that at its core, we've all gone through stuff this year, personal stuff. And this probably is gonna sound stupid, but like, to be able to celebrate a moment like this with y'all, completely unrelated to like real hard life problems, is really cool. And I feel like that's kind of the power of sports, man. Like, it's silly and it doesn't necessarily make sense, but I'm super grateful for it.
Well said.
Well said.
Somebody want to follow that up?
Yeah, good luck.
Well, you know I will.
Taylor said, as a matter of fact, I do.
Don't challenge me. First of all, shout out Justin with the coolest backdrop of an uncontested podcast maybe ever.
You like that?
Absolutely gorgeous there.
Little mountain range action.
That's, you got the sunset going. Pretty
Mhm.
impressive. Pretty impressive.
Better hurry up,
shot
or I'm gonna
behind
run
you.
out of light.
No kidding. You're gonna be under the street lights of Colorado.
I already am.
I think you said it very well. When I'm thinking back, like after the game, and the amount of people that reached out to all of us, whether we were walking through the arena or afterwards, or just the different texts I got, it came from like a multitude of people. It was old high school friends individually. It was Nick and I's high school group text that we've had for a long time, lifelong friends. It was college friends reaching out, like, dude, they did it. Like, I remember when you were like trying to throw like watch parties, like at the fraternity house, and watch this team of like KD and Russ before KD left. And like you said, Justin, the 2 most important things is getting to experience all the different opportunities and the memories that we've had together as a podcast with some of my very best friends, but also family. I think about going to the very first game in 2008 with my family. I think about being ball boys with Nick. We talked about that on the last show. Like, I think about starting the podcast and like how far we've come. It really is so much more than just basketball, because of the incredible memories it's brought and how important that's been to my family. I mean, getting to bring Brooks to his first couple of games over the past 2 years, getting to share that with him even at a young age. There's just so much that goes into it that's more than basketball. But then also from the community standpoint, like you mentioned, Justin, I won't read this word for word like I did on last podcast, but shout out longtime listener JD Brown. Just said it so well. Like, it's a culmination.
JG Wentworth.
JD Brown, other JD.
7 cash now.
It truly is a culmination of like watching this team grow, all that they've gone through to get to this point, from the different iterations of the Thunder, just aligned so directly to the city as a whole and everything they've been through, from the bombing to now. And downtown reflects that. The community reflects that. And it's just so like hand in hand with what Sam Presti has preached the entire time since the Thunder have been in OKC.
Also,
Nick,
well said.
Nick,
Taylor.
it's your turn.
It was cool. It was fun. I had a good time.
Like, I think big picture, I think we've kind of diverted a little bit on the original question, but I'll go a few directions here. I think this whole like 16 plus year journey that Oklahoma City has had with an NBA team, which started earlier. If you ever want to hear about the Hornets, Taylor's got a whole backstory, I'll tell you.
Read Boomtown. Shout out to Sam Anderson, who was in town.
It's an underdog story in a lot of ways. Like, this was like the story that had some pre-written elements that Jacob was alluding to. Pre-written mostly because you can't change history. What's happened has happened, and that's, you know, great to be pre-written. I did not pre-write the script of the game. That would be pretty crazy if I did. Like, a small market team has fewer ways to get better. If the 3 primary ways of improving a team are draft, free agency, and trade, the Thunder, we've talked about this, has about 1.5. They've got the draft, which they've been pretty good at. Trades, situationally, they're good with those. A lot of times it's like with a trade, especially a superstar player, they won't have to play there and or resign there. And then free agency is just not really a thing for Oklahoma City. You combine that with the fact that both times they got the closest to achieving the ultimate goal. 2012, Harden is gone right after. You don't get another chance. 2016, they didn't make it to the finals. 3-1, close enough. KD's gone. You don't get another crack at it. For most small market teams, one of those two times you're buried for 20 years. And like, I think what's just most impressive about all this, and the reason that, and I think Jacob talked about this at the top of the show, the reason the asterisks and caveats and doesn't count, is stupid because they won 85 games or something on the way to the championship. You can't say that 3/4 of a game changes the deserving nature of a championship, but I just can't help but think this type of championship and the way they did it, being the first time, the limitations they have in the small market, it just has to be one of the most impressive and like satisfying for a front office to achieve. And like, while right now it's probably hard to like wrap our brains around everything that's happened to this point, like I think it's probably documentary worthy one day how they got here and like unfolding the different trade trees and tactical moves. It's pretty impressive.
It's insane.
One thing that I like that you said there, Nick, talking about like the potential asterisk, right? Like all the hating fans, the opposing fan bases are going to bring that up, and it's whatever, even if this wasn't the case. But the case is like what Sam Presti has done in the small market is truly against all odds. So you can say the Thunder got lucky with injuries this postseason, or they didn't play teams at full strength. And obviously we all feel for Halliburton and the Pacers, who, I mean, just incredible final series. And for Halliburton to go out like that and not be able to play next season it's brutal. And I hate it so much. At the same time, what Sam's been able to do, what this organization has done in the small market, that erases every single asterisk because the odds are stacked against you. Just like Sam mentioned after the Paul George, Russell Westbrook trades and his big, big article he put out in the Oklahoman. Like, small markets aren't supposed to be here, and they did it. And not only did they do it, but obviously there's so much room for. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't think the Thunder played their best. I don't mean this as a diss against the Pacers. I don't think the Thunder played their best basketball in the finals, and maybe neither did the Pacers. I mean,
I was going to say, I think if you ask both fan bases,
Right.
they'd probably say the same. But I think that's part of being in the finals, right?
Right.
It's not
So the point
supposed to
being,
be pretty.
there's still so much room for this team to grow and improve, and that's just amazing when you take into the context of where they've come from in the small market.
I think one more final thing. There's a lot of like Prestiisms that become Markisms, just like organizational kind of quotes and themes and philosophies that I think through the years we've all talked about, just because they're kind of cool little sayings like stacking days and 0-0, and we draft people, not players. Like, it's all fun to talk about that, leading up to something like this. But then I think when you retrospectively or retroactively look at this championship and the way they got here and the way they handled it and how they went through the adversity and the post-game interviews and the calm locker room, that's just not shit they're saying or like quotes to put on a t-shirt. That's shit they actually preach and works. And
Top to bottom.
It's the little things that go the longest way. And yeah, it's just
Nick, I think the perfect encapsulation of that, I don't know how many times, not just against the Thunder, but just teams in general, try to find the excuses to make for losing the game. A great example of this is like Chris Finch, like preemptively before the series even started, like talking about the whistle that the Thunder get. Go back and listen to any post-game interview after a loss. The Thunder talk about how they messed up, how they have to be better, how the other team outplayed them. It's always like this sense of ownership of what they did wrong and how they can go about and fix that. And I think that's the encapsulation of kind of what you're getting at there, Nick. And it's really awesome to cheer for a team that has that sort of self-reflection, that sort of ownership,
Accountability.
and that sort of accountability. JD, we have a ton of supers coming in. Can you hit on some of those?
Yes, let me see which one. We saw the George one. We have one from El Somber Reggio. The only bad thing about this title is that we're never getting this logo changed. Happy to be champs. Very
Facts.
fair. Another one from El Somber Reggio. Connor Griffin tweeted saying OKC was dominant without a single iconic moment. Dub just responded saying, "You must not have been watching. You must have not been watching."
Yeah,
Very
somebody
Love
just
that.
texted me the screenshot. And yeah, Dub responded to this guy on Twitter and said, "You must not have watched the games, LMFAO." Go off,
I love
Dub.
that.
We got
the games.
Jacob Niffin's hair with $10. Hell yeah, we did it.
Bro,
Thank
what
you.
is
Yeah,
in
we
here
did.
right now?
I think it's Dort braids.
Yeah,
I think.
Nice.
I see the
one.
trophy, but
we have the 20 from Danny. Crazy to think that even with how good this Thunder team is, this just might be the worst version of the team. They are so young, and they are only going to get better. Thank you guys for everything, and TTFU champs, baby.
Hey.
Thank you, Danny.
That is
to that point,
yeah.
to Danny's point, Nick, I thought what you pointed out in your article was kind of shocking to me that I had never connected those dots before. Of like after 2012, you had the Harden trade. After 2016, you had the KD decision. This is like uncharted waters for this Thunder team. As much as you can't count on a dynasty, and in no way, shape, or form am I saying that this is the start of a dynasty, but the Thunder they've never been in this position before. Not obviously winning a title, but like the continuity they're going to have heading into next season, knock on wood, right, is like unprecedented for this franchise to be performing at the level they're at while retaining all the pieces they're retaining. It's just not happened. And I think in hindsight, that's why 2012 and 2016 hurt so bad as fans. You didn't realize it at the time the games happened, but right around the corner was disaster.
Yeah.
This time, there's such a bright future. And again, knock on wood, but like, I think that's what makes this feel so exciting, not just now, but peeking ahead with one eye of what this team could evolve into in the coming seasons.
Well,
Yeah, Justin,
sorry, JD. Today's Monday, June 23rd. 7 days from now, we will be 4 hours into NBA free agency. And your big three, J-Dub, Chet Holmgren, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, all extension eligible.
Yep.
I think those three are going to be around for a while, Justin.
Agreed.
I wanted to say, Danny mentioned like this might be the worst version of the team. Just to be totally honest, I hated that narrative all throughout the playoffs because I just wanted to win this year. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear that, oh, they're going to be so much better moving forward, yada, yada. But now that it's over,
But now
that it's over, yes, there is so much room for offensive growth. Specifically, their offense, in most of the postseason was not good. Like they had SGA.
Yep.
They had SGA, and you get the occasional hot night from a Jada, but it's the historic like top 5 all-time defense and the points generated off of turnovers. That was their offense, but it was like the shooting was.
Silva, can I push on that back just a little bit because I've seen that.
push on that back.
Well, like push on that. Push on. It's one of my go-to pickup lines. Probably why I'm still.
We gotta be
This is
why.
Anyone out there in the chat wants to push up back
Push on that back.
with Taylor, drop a super chat.
So Taylor told Bontemps at the Tiki Bar.
Hey, he remembered me walking with him in downtown Indianapolis.
How romantic.
How romantic. I think the thing that's most impressive to me, and this is something that Alex Caruso said post game when he's being interviewed, usually for a team to grow and improve like this, as on such a high level, on the highest of stages, they have to lose first to do it. And I understand like this young Thunder team lost, obviously, in a dramatic fashion, or if you want to call it dramatic fashion, but in a very tough series against the Dallas Mavericks. And they obviously learned from that. That was their first appearance, though, in the playoffs outside of the year before, the play-in. And the way that these young guys were able to respond throughout the entirety of the every single series they played in and improve. Like we talked so much about J-Dub and the narratives that were out there about him. And he comes out in the biggest game of his life in Game 5 at Paycom Center and puts up a superstar performance that will be remembered forever. You think about Chet coming off that injury, 2 injuries, one to start his career and then the hip injury. For him to come out and perform with only 4 months of playtime heading into the playoffs, like doing what he did defensively. I know you guys talked about it earlier in this game, but just throughout the playoffs, having some of those offensive performances that he did have, even if he struggled in other times. Cason Wallace, another example, had a really poor series as a whole, I think, in the final, which is totally fine being a young player. But then coming out in Game 5 and performing like he did, having the huge Game 7 he did at home, like these players truly were growing up and like improving in front of our eyes, which is extremely rare. I'm not sure the last time an NBA champion can say that. And I think that's what's so scary for opposing fan bases and for the league is like these guys are just only going to get better and they've already been at the biggest of stages. They have so many mistakes they can still learn from. So what happens when these guys continue to grow and mature?
And they're going to have to because the top of the league's getting tougher.
Yeah.
Right. We've been talking about that a little bit. Well, I'm sure we'll spend a lot of time in the offseason talking about that. But the path doesn't necessarily get easier. So they're going to have to keep getting better. But this is a heck of a place to start it from.
A question while I step away for 30 seconds, and I want to hear your hot takes. I think Jake will be the first one to take this. Where's Dub rank in the league now?
Like currently in the league.
That was his way to buy some time so he could go pee.
Current players.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shocker. Nick going pee again for the second time since he's been here.
Where top 20 easy for Dub, yeah. He's top 20 in the NBA now.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
It's hard to argue against it.
Third team All NBA. That's top 15.
You know what's really cool that we can do now is if you're arguing for a player's standing in the NBA, you could say, well, he has a ring, so F off. And you can rank him higher than you normally would.
I don't want to
Take
hear
that, Alex
anything
Dukas haters.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear anything from any Luka fan.
Oh,
Brother doesn't have an MVP.
you
brother doesn't have
cannot
a
tell
ring.
me
That's
shit
right.
about.
The only
J-Dub,
rings he has are onion.
J-Dub,
Hey.
All-Star, All Defensive Selection, All-NBA, NBA champion, the youngest player since Kobe Bryant to achieve all 4 of those in the same season.
I think Dub is top 18 currently in the league.
Yeah.
All right, good
I
talk.
won't argue against it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
All right,
you can tell me whatever you want right
let's
now.
have an even. Oh, well, I want to ask another question, but we got to hit these super chats. The folks are literally throwing money at us like we're on the stage with a poll. Let's read their comments.
All right, next one from our guy Alan McIntosh. Guys, I'm so stoked. I was watching it in the Airbnb in Florida. I believe that Dort 3 was the spark that started the run that got us the W. Awesome to enjoy this with you guys and all of Discord. Love y'all. Love you, Alan. Thanks for being a part of our show.
Again,
Yes, sir.
That
Dort-
shot was
Dort 3 from the logo, just an
The moon shot.
absolute piss missile, dude. It looked like it got launched from Iran. Just
Can you say that right now? I guess you can.
Splash.
because
think you can say that
I
right
think
now.
they're in peace talks.
I probably.
Very reminiscent of Lu Dort's first Game 7 he ever played in against the Houston Rockets in the bubble, right?
Yeah,
I thought that was
true.
really cool.
No more super chats.
Game
but-
7 Lou.
Yeah. Smoot
Okay.
did say, is anyone else nervous that Justin's feed will turn into a found footage horror film?
I can just slip into these woods over here,
Blair Witch Project.
go into the trees and see what happens.
Nick, my turn. You ready? This Shai season, where does it rank with like the best single MJ, Kobe, Steph Curry seasons of all time?
God, I don't know if I'm enough of a historian to be educated to tell you every season that any player's ever had.
What about Mickey Redbottom?
Or Rick Applebottom.
What'd you call him the other day? You called him Mitch,
Mitch.
something?
You think you know the Splash Brothers? You never knew the Bottom Brothers.
The Bottom Boys.
Bottom
Boys.
That's what I'm gonna call Taylor Nick.
It's got to be considering like any statistical season that you say no player's ever done this in X number of years is always going to be a bit skewed because it's like the more levers you throw in, the more randomness there is. Like, I don't know, if I were to guesstimate, like it's a top 25 ever.
Nobody's ever podcasted from this parking lot after an NBA championship before.
I think the more interesting question is
They're the doo-doo boys.
Is over under 70.5 on the all-time list now.
Yeah, he's there.
That's
dude.
pretty dang good.
I mean,
Pretty
we're talking
good.
about like all-time Thunder greats. That was a narrative heading into this series. I think Russell Westbrook's impact on this organization, regardless if he got a finals or not, it's just so understated that nobody outside of really Oklahoma City truly will understand. That you can make the argument that he still is up there with Shai, but with Shai having the MVP finals,
Shai's the best Thunder player
championship.
of all time.
Yeah,
I'm not entertaining a discussion there. Shai is the best Thunder player of all time.
Agreed.
Is the statue getting built at some point?
Yeah.
Number retired for sure.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I think
I
Jada
mean-
will finish pretty high on that list too. But when it's all said and done,
Hope so.
Insane, dude.
My prophecy didn't quite get there when I said
Well,
that J-Dub would be the 1B to Shai's 1A when the Thunder finally win a championship. But damn it, I was close.
We've
take
got
one and two.
prophecies here from
Oh,
Thunder Chick.
Look at
I
that
forgot about those.
transition.
You ready?
Yep.
yes.
Justin's prophecy. Justin, you remember?
No, I have no idea.
Halliburton misses his first shot in every game of the series.
That did not happen.
But Justin
He-
pointed that
he-
out to me.
He missed
so
in
often.
games 1, 2, 3, and 5. So you missed out on that one.
Interesting.
TP,
As soon as he came out firing last night, though, that stat popped in my head, and I was like, "Oh
Yep.
no!"
TP said
what else
Thunder
popped?
will foul out opposing players 4 times this series. Game 3, Neesmith fouled out. Game 4, Neesmith fouled out. Game 7, Neesmith fouled out.
fouled out.
Game 6, James Johnson got ejected, but it's not really a foul out.
Counts.
Does not count.
So close.
Hey, speaking of, before we get to the next prophecy, one of the listeners DM'd me last night. 16-leg parlay on the game.
Who?
He was at 14 of 16. He needed 1 dub assist, 1 Chet point for it to hit. 2
Was that
minutes
Nick
left in the
Nice
game.
friend, German friend
Dub
City?
hits the hit-ahead pass to Chet for the dunk.
Oh,
Brother hit a 16-leg parlay.
What?
that's
Made
crazy.
single game parlay, 16
You know
leg.
this person?
Yeah, he's a listener of the pod. He DMs me all the time.
Brother.
Let's see that super chat, buddy.
Is he rich as shit now?
I think he won like $4,000.
That
Dude.
never happens.
Let me hold $1.
JD,
Buy some merch.
JD said Halliburton scores fewer than 20 points in each of 4 games this series. There were 7 games. Halliburton scored more than 20 in one of them. Good job, JD.
It's pretty
I
good.
said J-Dub would be finals MVP.
Heyo.
That didn't happen.
Honestly, wasn't too far off, especially after
No.
that game 5.
Nick
Coulda
said,
happened.
Nick said Halliburton has 20 assists in one game. He got 11 in game
Oh.
3. That's the closest.
So close.
So there's your prophecies for the finals.
We know what we're talking about.
Good stuff, boys. Yeah.
We do.
People come here for the vibes, not the basketball knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, we're an hour, 15 minutes in. We're going to do tons of championship pods.
Heyo.
We got a whole summer.
There's so much I want to talk about
Oh,
in terms
that's
of like,
what you meant.
in terms of like framing of the next
Oh,
season.
I thought Jacob was proclaiming the dynasty right here and now.
No. The framing, the Nick talked about this a bunch, how one game determines the entire framing of this team and next season.
Yep.
We're
Insane.
going to spend a lot of time. I don't want to dig into it now, but
Absolutely. Here's what we'll do. Tomorrow, we have a parade to go to. Wednesday is the freaking NBA draft.
That's insane.
That is crazy.
So we will be back with you guys for the draft, and then later this week we're gonna do another pod, just talking about the title. That's what we're gonna do. And then we will also get you guys a Patreon pod. If you haven't already, sub for the Patreon. We're gonna have a blast, dude. All summer, we're just gonna be basking in the championship. So come join the Patreon. Come hang out with us. So we'll definitely get to more championship talk. We got all summer.
We didn't even really talk about the game, and like there's so many performances that were.
We got all summer. It's gonna be incredible.
Taylor's like, you got another hour?
This is just a vibes show right now.
Part one.
I will say this though, as this being kind of the final post-game pod of the season, as we get out of here, I would say JD play that outro music. But
Sounders aren't working.
The sounders aren't working, and B, we might get a little too late into the music.
Yep.
I do got to say, I thought Justin's words earlier, incredible, spot on. There's the one thing, well, not the one thing, multiple things I wanted last night besides a win was when they won. If I had to choose 10 people to enjoy that Thunder title with, you guys are on the Mount Rushmore of enjoying that title. I mean, I have, Justin, you were spot on that almost every relationship in my life has something to do with basketball, just because it's such an easy conversation starter. And you guys are my go-to. You guys are my absolute go-to. And what we've built with the podcast, but what we've built with each other and what we've built with this community is so special. There's nobody else I wanted to celebrate it with. I knew when I walked into that arena last night that counting down the minutes of the fourth quarter, there was a handful of people I needed to FaceTime who weren't in the building, and Justin was at the top of that list. I had to let Justin see the inside of Paycom as those seconds ticked off.
Justin texted. He said, "Did you mean to call Jacob?"
Hell yeah, brother.
Well, it only rang for like a half second, so I thought maybe it was an accident. But I was
on
glad
my
it
end,
wasn't.
it was ringing for like 2 minutes. Just the service was horrible.
Yeah.
But and this podcast, I think, has become such a big part of our lives. It's a defining thing for my life to be a member of the Uncontested podcast. And nobody cares about the Uncontested podcast unless they're listening to the Uncontested podcast. And the reason we're able to do what we do, the reason we're able to go to game 3 and 4 and cover that for you guys and bring you live stuff from Indianapolis, the reason we're able to do a lot of this is because for some reason you guys listen to the 4 of us talk hoops, and you guys
4
pay
of
for
us,
super chats, 5 of us. Sorry, Nick's just never around anymore. I'm teasing Nick. You're the backbone of the
listeners
pod,
were so concerned.
I love you, Nick.
And then he jumped on with me on the podcast here a couple days ago. And
yeah, and it was one of my favorite podcasts we've ever done.
Yeah, it was a banger.
Those of you who pay for the Discord, those of you who interact with us on Twitter, like this isn't possible without you guys. We wanted to celebrate this with you all so much. We wanted to wait until we could have a really good time to do this podcast, and we're going to keep celebrating, but damn, we love the crap out of you guys. Thank you so much. Even to all the losers and the haters out there. We love you.
You guys could eat it.
Connor B sends $10, says MVP, most valuable podcast. Thanks for the coverage this year,
done.
fellas.
That's cool.
Let's
Connor.
go.
Donovan Bass says, thanks for another great season, fellas.
Amazing.
Love it.
Awesome.
Love it.
Y'all
We
are
love
the
you
best.
guys. This community is incredible. Thank you guys so much. The relationships we've built are just incredible. To the 4 of you dudes, love you guys. Couldn't have been a better group to enjoy title with.
Still so much to go.
Let's go.
We got
Justin-
the parade tomorrow.
Justin, be ready for another FaceTime tomorrow from the parade, buddy.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Better learn parade, buddy.
Better learn parade, buddy. I think in order to log off, since we don't have sounders, each person, as we leave, has to recreate one of their own sounders that JD has made of you. That's the only way we can sign off from the
Oh my
championship
gosh.
pod.
Silva,
Wait, did you say me? Sorry.
I think you got to start.
I'm gonna do this one. I love chocolate, and I can't wait to see more.
You
That's
got to do one
mine.
of your
You
own.
gotta do one of your own.
Oh shit.
Those are also not the right words.
Is it really not?
No.
What about that cow is thoroughly milked?
Beautiful. I like that.
Beef stroganoff. It's another one of my Silva favorites.
Taylor, what's yours?
I already did the Vegas one. So for the last time of the regular season, Bucks.
Love it. Justin?
Man, I want to do something that's like relevant to winning a championship, but the one that comes to my mind most frequently is cream cheese in the chat from George.
It's iconic.
It's a classic. That needs to be on a shirt.
Nick,
Nick, what do you got?
In the multiverse.
Beautiful. I'm suddenly going blank on so many of mine.
He put a sock in my mouth.
Put a sock in my mouth. Good for him. Shout out Darius Baisley. Darius Baisley, this championship was for you.
Can
we pour one out for Poku?
Yeah.
Hey, Poku got a ring this year too.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
Wait,
in Europe.
Oh,
He won over in Europe, brother.
I thought you meant like a figurative ring for being a part of this Thunder.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
I
Here,
wish you would.
we're doing a second sign off. I'm having a blast here, guys. I don't want to log off from you guys. If you could choose one player from the past 5 years, from the tank era, that you want to give a complimentary championship ring to, who are you giving it to?
Trey Man, no question.
Yeah,
I love it.
it.
That's my
Good
pilot.
answer.
That's my pilot. Good throwback.
Flying the Pacers team plane before game one.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
All right. Who do you other guys got?
I'm having a hard time conjuring love for these players that were truly bad right now. So
Tony Bradley.
God.
I almost said that one as a joke. That's a good pull. Nobody?
Taylor, who you
Taylor?
got, brother?
Yeah, Isaiah Roby. You want one?
Okay,
Isaiah
you giving one to
Roby's
Isaiah Roby?
Poku's kind of like our answer as a podcast.
Yeah. What about Godsmack, JD?
Holy
That's
shit!
mine. 10-year Thunder backup big Jeremiah Robinson Earl. You remember
The next
that?
Nick Collison.
The
next Nick
backup
Collison.
center for a decade.
JRE, baby, the next Nick. We all have bad takes,
That's
folks.
amazing.
I
Taylor,
don't
who's
know.
yours?
This is tough. Like, I'm not gonna say Gabby Deck,
Now he was kind of an asshole, I think.
Yeah,
but like,
Gabby on my
dare I
deck,
say,
till
Josh
I-
Giddey, who like all the guys on the team still love and played a big part those first 2 years of
Good one.
getting back into contention. Like,
It's a good real one, for sure.
yeah,
Yep. Josh
good
gets a ring for bringing us AC.
Yep.
All right. We're getting out of here.
Astonished the number of bald men with headbands
yes.
at Scissortail Park before Game 7.
Hey,
Jacob started a thing.
there's only one real one, though.
That video that got sent
carries
through
me.
of the people chanting Caruso along the canal at Jacob, that's another like post game moment that I'm gonna remember. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I can't believe we haven't mentioned that yet.
It was incredible.
You like yell at Carrie from the other room, bring him in.
So good.
Hey, no. One more thing before we actually leave. One more round.
Okay, let's do it. I'm having a blast.
I gotta go to the pharmacy.
Wait.
Why?
Pharmacy.
Did you jump in the canal last night?
What's your question, Nick?
We can do this rapid fire. All I need to hear from you is which two teams are in the NBA Finals next year and who wins and how many games.
Ooh.
Good Lord, that's like a thesis statement. Do you realize what you just asked Taylor Peterson to do? He's going to give us
10
their
seconds or less.
game-by-game record.
Well, if we look at their offseason, look at their cap space, and they're currently below the first apron.
Let's look at their transition stats.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Thunder
Fuck mine.
Cavaliers in 6.
Who wins?
Thunder, duh. Come on.
Okay.
Think I'm gonna bring the vibes down? No.
Thunder. Oh, wow. Thunder. Who the hell's even good in the East? I guess Cavs. Thunder in 5.
Cavs is probably the correct
The
answer.
Cavs,
but
they tried to trade for Kevin Durant.
yeah, they put
That's
some
an
inquiries out.
insane one.
You know what? I'll get a little spicy and say the wide open East, the Magic have a season just like the Thunder did this past year, and we have
I like
Thunder
that.
Magic in the finals.
Give me the orange and blue finals. Bing bong.
That was
Thunder
mine.
in 5.
I got the exact same, but Thunder in 6.
We'll all be in New York City.
No, we
We,
won't.
we cannot. A lot of people need to join the Patreon this next year if we're going to New York City, brother.
That's right.
Super chats, more super chats.
Hey, go! You guys go snag some merch. Justin absolutely cooked. Go support him. He cooked so hard he just bailed on the show.
Oh, Drew Holiday just got traded.
What?
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 Holy shit!
I'll read
did
it.
to
The
the
Boston
Blazers?
Celtics have traded Drew
What?
Holiday to the Portland Trailblazers for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks.
What?
All right.
The West has like 14
The fun never
teams.
stops.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get out of here.
We got to get out of
Crazy.
here.
All right.
You guys, I love y'all. We'll see you soon.
Love you too.
Enjoy the
Good mom.
parade. Go buy some of Justin's merch. I don't know. I don't have anything else. We'll probably see you Wednesday night for the draft. I don't even know who they could draft.
Bring me Colin Murray Boyles.
Bring me Mickey Redbottom. Thunder are NBA champs.
Oh my gosh, we have to get Silva a jersey now.
I'm gonna give Silva a red bottom. You need to close this stream out right now.
Jesus.